Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu and my son, the third generation Dallas Cowboy fan in my family, Michael. And we are actually on our way to work and fighting good old DC traffic. And just like the Redskins, it sucks too. But as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report, man. We're getting close to 7,000, and I got to thank each and every one of you subscribers, man. You know, we had a great time last night live streaming, and you guys, if you haven't live streamed with me before, definitely check it out, because we're actually getting guest hosts that are coming in on Friday nights, and part of the conversation, we're answering your questions, and we also take some calls from time to time. That is when we can keep the trolls from calling in and just trying to show their ass. But we have a great time with it. Now, this week is another big week, and it's hard to believe that it's actually the off season, because we've had more to talk about this off season than we had during the season. You know, there's Tony Romo 24/7, of course. I believe that we're going to hear within the next week Tony Romo being released. Because we're looking at free agency starting next Thursday. The Cowboys need that extra cash, and it's time to go ahead and move on. It's clear that there's no way that the Cowboys can afford to bring him back. As much as you guys think that we need him for a backup quarterback, we can't afford to do that. We have too many other places to fill. And football, well, it's like gambling. You got to go ahead and put your resources around. Hopefully everything works out, but shit happens. And if you end up putting all your eggs in the we might lose a quarterback basket, well, that means you're not going to be able to get some of those players that are going to help your defense overall. You know, Dak is a young guy. He's proven he can take a hit and get up, so you roll your dice with him. We have an opportunity with Josh McCown. I know a lot of you say, oh, well, he's a nobody. Yeah, well, we're talking about backups. If he was a somebody would be trying to pay him to be a starter. So when you say, oh, he's no good, then who are you going to get? You want to take a draft pick that we need on defense to go ahead and get another project quarterback? You want to stick with Mark Sanchez or more? There's not a lot of options when it comes to backup quarterbacks. And that's why Garoppolo will probably get a first-round pick for New England being traded. There's not a lot of great guys out there. RG3 still has a job at the moment. You got Vince Young, who's been out for a couple of years and hasn't done anything in even longer, trying to make a comeback. Why? There's no quarterbacks out there. So if you have an opportunity to get a guy who does have some football experience at a reasonable price, that's the move we need to make. But we can't make that move as long as Tony Romo's still on the roster. So look for Tony Romo to be released sometime, I think, by the end of the week. That's just my personal feeling. And again, now you see teams have until tomorrow to use the franchise tag, and we're still on pins and needles wondering if the Redskins are going to put the tag on Kirk Cousins or pull off a trade and possibly sign Tony Romo. That, of course, is always interesting. You know, the Redskins, they are the Redskins. But for you, those of you who thought that, you know, maybe we go make a play for JPP, I said he'd be too expensive if he hit the free agent market. Well, the Giants are going to tag him, so that's not an option. I still say Calais Campbell is the best option, money-wise, and what you will get out of him for the Dallas Cowboys. And it opens up the draft to the best player available, be it a rusher, an edge rusher, be it a cornerback, be it safety. You know, it gives you flexibility, so you're not just reaching for a pass rusher because that's the area you need. That's generally where you get messed up. So make sure on Friday you put on your calendar, 9 o'clock Eastern, we'll be live streaming again, and I expect to see you guys there. So any other news that we find out breaking on the Dallas Cowboys, I'll bring you my thoughts on it as soon as it happens. So as always, friends, thank you for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. I'm Mark Holmes, that's Michael Holmes, and that's Cowboy Jobu. Have a great day.